Hi everyone. Well, thank you for joining us on this wonderful Thursday morning. My name is Brad Mahoney. I'm from the Millennium Tower. Today with my colleagues, Kathy McNeil. Kathy, please stand. Hallie Arbach in the back. Nicole Yonke. We'd like to welcome you here to really celebrate YouthBuild. 1 year ago this past summer, we opened this building. And I say we, I include YouthBuild in that, because YouthBuild had a meaningful part of construction of this building. YouthBuild partnered with Suffolk, with Millennium, and built out our management offices on the lower levels. You know, I've known Kenny and Greg for going on 10 years now. First project with them was a Millennium project, 179 Lincoln Street. And it really was about 4 or 5 years ago where that partnership coalesced into this partnership for this project. Something that we all take a lot of pride in. And hopefully, for the youth from YouthBuild that worked on this project, you know, as they drive down the highway and see this project, it's something that, you know, they can point to. And so we're excited to partner with YouthBuild because the work that they do is truly inspirational. Our future, as we know, it rests not with us in this room, with the kids, with the next generation. And what Greg and Ken, Lori, Sonia, the chairman of the board, are doing is really helping to propel them. So we look forward to working with YouthBuild on our next project. We thank them for all their fine work here, and have a wonderful day, and you know, enjoy the event. And I'd like to turn it over to Miceal from Bank of America.
Thanks, Brad. My name is Miceal Chamberlain from Bank of America. Welcome everyone today. We're thrilled to be here, and we've had a great relationship with YouthBuild Boston that dates back to 1991. And I'm proud to say it hasn't been just on a monetary basis. Our employees really wrap their arms around this program, and we do go out and do a project at least once a year with Ken's team. And I really want to give a big thanks to Ken for his visionary leadership of this organization. We really, at Bank of America, one of the 3 key tenets of our philanthropic mission here in town is workforce development. And I think this particular organization certainly epitomizes what workforce development is all about. It's getting our young children off the streets. It's putting them on a pathway to being financially secure adults, and it's putting them in a profession, if you just look around all the cranes around town, where we really need workers. And so we're 100% behind this project. We think as a company as well, we really, our employees want us to be involved in the community, and so partnering with YouthBuild, again, is a great way of doing that. I also want to give a bit of a shout out to Debbie Helvig, who's in the back of the room. She's on the board, and our other board member, John Wolf, unfortunately couldn't make it today, but you know, this starts at the top. Brian Moynihan was on the board. He's our CEO, and he transitioned that into Debbie and to John. So there's a commitment from the top of the organization, and it's up to us here locally to keep that up. And again, we're thrilled with the partnership. And Ken, I want to call you up, and I think you're up next, so thank you for all you do.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You know, I had a plan to say something, and then these 2 guys threw me off entirely. But I think the first thing to say is really to express our gratitude for all the support on all the folks in this room. You know, we couldn't be where we are today without, you know, your engagement with what and concern about our mission. So thank you all. Thank you very much. I can keep on thanking people as I move along here, and as Miceal said, you know, Bank of America has been there for quite a while for us, and you know, Alicia Verity and Debbie and John Wolf, they've just been spectacular for us. So it's we're really consider ourselves fortunate. But I should start with Kathy McNeil. She got us in this great spot in the Millennium Tower. As Brad said, we feel like we helped build this building. Not this floor, but somewhere along the way we had our contribution. What else can I can say here? I'm fortunate to have a great board. And if there are a whole bunch of board members out there, and please raise your hand and kind of say, you're part of us and we're part of you. And we have other folks who have played big roles in helping us out. I think the Starbucks folks are there. Irene is there. Thank you so much. And other folks like Suffolk, and we have tremendous gratitude for all that you've done for us. And we're so fortunate to have Mayor Marty Walsh, right there beside us, and all his folks, Sheila Dillon and Trin Nugent. What it means to us to be part of that team, get help from all that team has just been incredible, and thank you very much. So, the next thing we're supposed to do, I could ramble on through the speech, but I think it's time for a video. Okay, and are we ready to press the magic button, Video Master? I just want to say one thing that before I give up the mic. I feel like singing a little bit, but I'll pass on that. Is that we set a course maybe 10 plus years ago to really become a partner, get in partnership with the industry, and we saw ourselves as not the only recipient of that effort. That it was a dual customer approach where folks in the industry, whether it was unions or general contractors, the developer would engage in a conversation of how we were going to get young people into the building trades, and we've accomplished that. We've started on that pathway. We're not all the way there, but with your help and your kind of inspiration and support, we will get okay, because there are just great opportunities for young people in this city right now, and that's the cure of so many ills: a good job and good wages, and that's what we tell our young people every day. So with that, hit the video, please. When young people are given the resources and the support, they can make a difference in their lives and help strengthen the community and really have a future.
We say that our mission is really to expose young people, low-income residents of Boston who are either underserved or just underexposed to the options and possibilities out there to what is possible in the building trades.
Well, they take youth that are in a position that they need to have some guidance, some training, and some education and skills, and they develop those skills. And that provides long-term employment prospects, along with the relationships they have with the unions and the construction companies and everybody to help develop talent for those groups that they'd otherwise not see.
A lot of times, young people don't really understand what they want to do or the roadmap to get there. And YouthBuild very clearly lays out that roadmap.
We need qualified tradespeople, and YouthBuild builds qualified tradespeople.
YouthBuild Boston is really a fabulous combination of a small local organization that is having a tremendous impact. And that is what I love about it the most. To see a YouthBuild student is truly to meet a young person who has started to find his or her path.
First couple weeks, it's classroom work, so they give me a bunch of certifications, OSHA training. The other half of the weeks, we actually do a lot of hands work training, like framing, strapping, siding.
We built 90 units of housing. This building that we're in today is a $1.8 million construction project that our young people participated in.
For the most part, properties that we work on are abandoned lots or vacant housing that have been that way for many years, and then here we come with students and materials and equipment and transform this property into something that benefits the community. I try to tell them, you're almost like surgeons. You see a house when it's falling apart, and you become a surgeon. You work on that house, you bring it back to life. Then you drive by and see a family in there with little kids running around and realize that you had a hand in that. That's a fantastic feeling.
We brought the students on for a job shadow day where they come on and they shadow different trades throughout the day to get a more of an exposure of what the other trades do, because some students only know about carpenters or painters, but there are a host of other trades. And actually when we had the shadow day at the Boston University Law School, there were 2 students who were hired by a subcontractor, so it was very successful.
It feels good to give back to the community, do something positive for once in my life. We have properties throughout the community where we go around and we clean up, we do landscaping, we do carpentry, we do a lot of things that's really positive for the community. It's really great, it's really needed.
We are an organization that work for the community, right? I think our vision is that young people have a very important role in shaping their communities.
For our students, we're committing them to lives of doing better for themselves, but also doing better for their communities. They come from the community and they give back to the community. And then we, organization, do the same thing, is that we take from the community, but we give it back.
In terms of YouthBuild, that's an opportunity for corporations who not only fund the organization, but can also help them develop their volunteer programs and have targeted opportunities for corporations to really partner with YouthBuild Boston to really make a difference in the community.
I began as a volunteer, joining weatherization and other types of projects, fixing windows, getting homes ready for winter. And I'd turn up at these locations thinking I'm ready to pitch in, and immediately realizing that the students needed to teach me, that I needed them to show me what was happening with these homes and how I could make a difference alongside them.
As far as employment, a lot of doors were shut for me, so I saw this as an opportunity to make good money under my circumstances and move forward with a career.
Besides learning how to use power tools and hand tools, some of the softer skills that we teach them are equally as important.
We had to show up at 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday, on time. If we was a minute late, they would send us home. That really molded me. In the business that I'm in, construction business, it's the same thing. You show up at 7 o'clock, ready to work. And if you don't show up, the foreman's gonna tell you to pack your tools up and get out of here. Anything I learned at YouthBuild, I basically brought it to Local 7.
We're helping build the community up and giving them hope. I mean, who better than the youth, you know?
The YouthBuild Boston of today is very different from the YouthBuild Boston in 1990 that thrived on a significant amount of federal dollars. Those federal dollars aren't there, and we don't expect them to be there in the future. So we really need to get this connection to the private donor community, whether that be individuals, corporations, foundations.
I think it's important to support YouthBuild because it basically does a critical task that's needed in our city, our state, our country, which is to help people get jobs. Our job as a society is to make sure everybody has a better opportunity to participate and to grow and to learn and to be successful.
Large donors allow us to expand the program numbers, add depth to the training and the curriculum we deliver, and like I say, move it from conceptualized theoretical approaches to curriculum and programming and schedules.
For about $10,000, we can take a student and have them union construction ready to go into a career that they can build a very nice middle-class life. And I think that's a bargain.
I build. They're builders. But they just don't only build, they're serving their community while they're building. And they represent the community that they're from, and they represent the builders and represent their city. Wherever they go, they can be builders, but they have to stay true to themselves.
Keep it rolling, all right. about to graduate from YouthBuild Boston. He and his brother Angel, along with his sister, have all come to YouthBuild and have been stars. And I predict a great future for them. So Jason's going to tell you a little bit about his story.
Thank you very much. 6 months ago when I started this program in January, I had recently graduated from high school. I had gotten accepted into Northeastern University. Thank you. Unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, first of all, being that I'm broke, I decided eventually that in the 6 months that I had waited to start school, I had decided that I no longer wanted to go to college. And after a while, my dreams were kind of shattered. I had no dream. I had no direction. My sister, who had done YouthBuild years before, and had already been in Union 218, local Union 218 as a carpenter, she told me, Jason, why don't you and Angel, my brother, go to YouthBuild? It's a great start for anybody who feels like they want a good start, a fresh start. And in the 6 months since I've been here, it's been a wild ride. I mean, I could go on about accomplishments that I've done all day. I've built my first set of stairs. I've built countless walls. I've built a ladder capable of holding over 300 pounds made out of wood. You know, it's funny, I told one of my cousins that she's only 4 years old. I told her this the other day, all these accomplishments, and she's like, wow, you're like a superhero. And truly, when I think of the things that I've done, it's not just learning how to do these things. It's not just doing it and building the house. It's building a home. You know, I come from a low-income family, and I know that there are much more families that are having much worse than I do, who can't have a home, not right now. And the fact that this house, these two houses that I've been working on, will now house families that can grow and expand their families because they can afford to live in these homes, that does make me feel like a superhero. I've also met, you know, people that I would have never met before. I'm from East Boston. I have coworkers that are from East Boston that I cross paths with millions of times. I've just never met them. I've met them now through YouthBuild. These are connections that I will have for the rest of my life. And on top of all of that, I'm building a future for myself. I know when we were all younger, your parents give you that, where do you see yourself in 5 years question? And I would always just wave it off from my dad, just be like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. But having this opportunity, having this direction from this program, I now have an answer to that question. I want to serve my community. I want to be a carpenter, to build my future, to build my life for my family, build a life for the families of the homes who will house those homes, who will be living in those homes for the rest of their lives, hopefully, and to build a future for everyone around me, just in the city of Boston, knowing that this city will grow. And I think that that's what YouthBuild is, and that's what YouthBuild continues to give the youth. And with continued support, that's what YouthBuild will forever do. That's my time, honestly, but I would now like to introduce Mike to the stage, so that, take this mic from me, if you want.
Thank you, Jason. If you were to walk onto any one of our job sites, I think you'd find some great stories just like Jason's. And everyone is passionate about being there, and I think as a workforce development program, that's exactly what we're looking for, and you can't really ask for much more than that. My name is Mike Chavez. I'm the project development manager at YouthBuild Boston, and my job is basically to go out there and get the projects that YouthBuild works on, whether it's our housing, our landscape projects, working with developer partners and others to expand our relationships. I'm out there and helping these guys get as much training in different areas as we possibly can. Again, we've been around for 27 years. Our mission is to empower and assist underserved young people from the Boston area with the essential vocational, social, and life skills necessary to navigate a positive pathway to self-sufficiency and neighborhood responsibility. So we have 4 key programs, and you saw a lot of that in the video. And so I'll kind of go through these very briefly and talk at the end about why we're here. Our pre-apprentice program is what Jason and Angel are in. 18 to 24-year-olds who already have a high school diploma and ready to go to the building trades immediately. We have the Building Trades Exploration Program. Those are young people who are still working on their high school equivalency degree, which used to be the GED. And so they're exploring the building trades at different levels, as well as trying to accomplish that educational certification. We have the Designery. It's actually a program for students who are still in high school and work with, and focuses on architecture and design. And then we have YouthBuild, which is our community service component, which you heard a lot about in the video as well. And the main projects that we tend to work on, again, our bread and butter is affordable housing. We're working on about 2 to 4 units a year. But we also do nonprofit design builds, so we help other nonprofits who might have a little bit of money to renovate some space or update their properties. We do community service all the time throughout the course of the year. And we also do various home improvement projects, specifically senior home repairs is our thing right now. So focusing on that pre-apprentice program, again, these are 18 to 24-year-olds who want to get right into the building trades. It's about a 12-week program. And they, again, are drug-free, so they're drug tested when they come in the door. They need to be ready to go, essentially. They need to be safe on their job site the entire time. And they get various credentials, the main ones being OSHA 10, lead safe certification, first aid and CPR, 2A1C hoisting training, and signal rigger certification. So we usually kind of front load those in the first 3 weeks of the program, and the rest of the time they're out on our job site, rain or snow, figuring out what it feels like to be on a real construction site. And again, you've seen some of the video, you saw the projects that they work on, and the main thing, can you show up on time, can you keep that work ethic going the entire time you're working with us, and can you be safe on a construction site? We're constantly hearing from our contractor partners, if they can navigate a construction site safely, that's a big deal to us, and we're very happy to bring them on board, so we spend a lot of time also working on that. Our building trades exploration, again, these are young people with us about 6 to 9 months, and they get the same credentials that the PA program gets. But they're just with us a little longer, and they're exploring various trades, so not only carpentry, but they're also looking at landscape design, construction, facilities maintenance, and other programs. And again, they're kind of the core of our community service component. So anytime we do a community service project, they're the ones that are leading the effort there in the field, prepping all the sites that we work on. And we also do like landscape, that far right picture, which is kind of hard to see. We recently got a contract with the Boston Parks Department to maintain some of the rain gardens and bioswales in East Boston and downtown. So we're looking at a number of different types of trades and opportunities for jobs. Our Designery program is a very unique program. There's 270-some youth builds in the country, and we're the only ones with this program. And it's an after-school program for kids still in high school, so in the fall and the spring they come to us from 3:30 to 6:30, and then in the summertime they're with us from about 10 to 4. And we treat it as an architecture studio. And so they learn architecture and design, and it's all based on community-based projects. So in the pictures on the next slide, they learn sketching, they learn how to do models, they learn SketchUp and AutoCAD, all that kind of stuff. And then we apply those skills to a community-based project at the end of the session. Last but not least, you saw a lot about that YouthBuild component. And like Debbie Helwig was saying from Bank of America, the students really lead that effort when they're out on the field working with our corporate partners. It's geared for employees of socially responsible corporations who want to give back to the communities. So they work with us and we partner them with a nonprofit in the neighborhoods we work in to do improvement projects, whether it's a school or a community center or housing. And again, there's some images. It's a one-day service event, and when we work with those corporate sponsors, that money goes towards the actual materials on the project, breakfast, lunch, volunteer kit, and everything we need to get the project done. So why are we here today? So YouthBuild, we're treating this as a friend raiser. We're here to build our network with you all as developers, as contractors, as architects, as consultants. We have started to expand more now with some various developer partners to see ourselves as a community benefit. So when you're writing, your development proposals, whether it's the Millennium Tower or housing or anything else, consider us as your community partner on your project, as a community benefit, and write us in there. Think about how we can wrap in our youth for youth design training with your architects. So how do you start to think about community benefits in terms of the community you're working in and how we can play a role in that process? Well, what might that look like? We see ourselves as a community partner. So we're working now on a building trades assessment center, and we're working with groups like Wind Development and Avalon Bay and Suffolk Construction and Cork and Jennison and others about saying if someone was to walk onto your job site and they wanted a job in construction, usually what happens, they get that application right, they fill it out, it goes back to your people at the office, and then they say if you're qualified or not. Well, what if there was a more robust process where they could come to us, and YouthBuild Boston is there, and we can talk about, well, what are you really here for? You're looking for a job, is construction the right job? And if it is, what trades might you be interested in? What can we do to help you get through a process of training? If you don't have your OSHA certification, how can we help you get that? How can you come to our job sites and work on that? What about facilities maintenance, and how can that play a role in terms of what happens to the buildings after they're completed? Maybe you can do that. We're working with groups like Wentworth University on pieces like that. So think about us as a community benefit in terms of a more robust process for engaging the community while you're out there. And we've also played a role as a subcontractor on projects. In this building right here, we did drywalling as a subcontractor on this project. Number one, it helps the developer and the general contractor on your numbers, just right off the bat, right? Minorities, women, and the Boston residents. But we're also doing training, and so it's a win-win situation for both of us on those types of projects. And of course, hire YPP grads. I mean, hire these guys, right? They're there, they're ready to go, and they're good workers, and they want to be, this is their career. They're not here to try and test it out. That's what they want to do. So last but not least, we see ourselves as a community investment as well. So your investment in our program, whether it's scholarships for construction job placement, or sponsoring facilities maintenance apprenticeships, or providing internships for high school students with your architects. We do summer job internships for young people who have been through our program and done AutoCAD and all that kind of thing. And last but not least, sponsor and participate in one of our YouthBuild projects. Maybe you want to bring out your team and do a YouthBuild project for one day in the community. We can do that as well. So there's a number of different ways that you can engage with us and expand your network and help us help you. So with that, I want to introduce the mayor. I want to do a quick story about, he's very invested in creative thinking. A couple years back, I was doing some work with Community Development Corporation in Hyde Park, and they have this vacant lot full of poison ivy, so they came to me and they said, hey Mike, you're originally from New Mexico, right? I said, I am. I said, great, tell us everything you know about goats. And I was like, well, luckily my dad's side is a bunch of ranchers, so I'll help you out here. So anyway, we ended up putting some goats on a vacant lot. They ate all the poison ivy, and it was a great project. And we sent the students there, because I said, they said, can you take the proposal to the mayor? I said, well, if he sees this, I don't know if he'll say yes, but if we send some students there, he'll absolutely say yes. We also, at YouthBuild Boston, put some green roofs on bus shelters in Dorchester and Hyde Park as a way to engage community about green infrastructure, and the mayor said yes to that. And of course, with all the housing that we're doing, the eco-friendly, affordable housing that we're building, these types of relationships that we're growing, the mayor's been very open and friendly to us. He supported our work, supported our efforts in terms of workforce development, adding housing to the Boston plan. And so with that, I want to introduce Mr. Mayor Martin J. Walsh.
I want to thank you, Mike, and thank you for that presentation. I also want to thank you, Ken, for the great work you do. I met Ken many years ago before I was the mayor of Boston, and saw the work that YouthBuild has done in the past, and it's incredible stuff. Jason, congratulations as well. Nice job up here speaking. And never close the door in school, because once you get on the field, you might want to become a superintendent and own a company someday. Having that college degree is helpful. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. This is an incredible program. And I know I look around the room, I see so many partners here, Bank of America, Miceal, Suffolk, and I think I saw Tom Gomet walk in a minute ago. Sheila Dillon from Chief of Housing in the City of Boston is here. Certainly is an advocate and wants to have a plan to build a lot of housing in Boston. We have Trin Nguyen, who just walked in from our Office of Workforce Development. We have a 4-year proposal, a grant with YouthBuild for $500,000 over 4 years. I'm going to take this a little different, though, this today. When you look at the City of Boston, last night in the city we had 5 shootings in Boston. If you look at the last 4 years in Boston, most of our numbers in crime are down, but we still have had homicides every year. I think my first year as mayor, I want to say we had 52. My second year as mayor, we had 40, 39 actually. My 4th year as mayor, we had 49, and then this year we're on pace for 49 again. Now we're not some of the other cities around America, but we still have had, in my tenure as mayor almost, so by the time I'm I'm done with my first term, I will have had 200 people killed in the city of Boston. Now that happens, 200 people happen in certain cities all the time, but there's still 200 people. But when you look at the stats, and I dive into the stats a lot, violent crime is down in Boston. A lot of other numbers are down in Boston. Homicides actually are down in Boston if you look at a 10-year map. But the number that jumps out is arrests are down in Boston. For the last 3 years, our arrests are down in Boston by 25%. They're down for a whole bunch of reasons. They're not down because the police aren't doing their job. They're down because of organizations like YouthBuild that have created opportunities for young people on a pathway into a career. Tom Gomat said it in the video, and Brian Moynihan said it in the video as well, that these opportunities provide young people with chances of careers. Now, as I look around this room, most of us have a career, whether it's in banking, construction, real estate development, whatever it might be. And we needed an opportunity, most of us needed an opportunity to get lucky to get into that career. We needed that chance, that opened the door for us to get into a career. So when you think about construction, construction is no different than what real life is outside of construction. The program, when I was the head of the building trades, Building Pathways was a pre-apprentice program that I worked to create with the Boston Housing Authority. Actually, Trin was the chief of staff at the time with Bill McGonigal. And we created this program to create opportunities to get into mechanical trades. And that idea really came off of YouthBuild, because what YouthBuild was doing, particularly around carpentry. And this is a real opportunity to make a difference in a young person's life. Now, construction is not for everybody, and that's why it's important for us to think of other pathways and other opportunities. But when you think about opportunities for young people in the city that are living in our city, that we want to keep in our city, construction is that pathway. Right now in the city of Boston, we have $7 billion worth of construction going on in the city of Boston. We woke up this morning, there's $7 billion of construction going on. We launched a housing plan in October of 2014 to create 53,000 units of new housing by the year 2030. We're setting records every year for low-income housing and moderate-income housing. Many of that housing stock you see in the video, the 1 and 2 and 3 families, that's where our low and moderate-income families are going to live. They're not going to live in the Millennium Tower. Nor do a lot of families want to live in the Millennium Tower that come from neighborhoods. They want to live in the neighborhood. So it's important for us as we think about that, we're going to continue to generate activity in a neighborhood to build. But by supporting a program like YouthBuild, YouthBuild Boston in particular, it goes a long way. Those numbers, they go back to 5 shootings last night in the city of Boston. No one got killed. I don't know have the demographic breakdown of all the people who got shot or the shooters, but I'm going to make an assumption. They're between the ages of 19 and 40 years old. The majority of them were probably young black males, maybe some Latino males, maybe there's a white male, I don't know. The problem is lack of opportunity. When you come down to and you talk to the kids that have a gun or pull the trigger, usually the story is they had no opportunity, they quit school, they took to the streets, they have no other way of getting out of the streets but to have to be involved in the criminal activity. But I've seen so many stories of young black and brown boys and girls when they get an opportunity to put on a pair of work boots and put on a tool belt and work on a building like this and have an opportunity to earn a check at the end of the week and really see the opportunity for a life that they never even could imagine. So I'm asking the businesses here today, and many of you, some board members, I need you to double down, maybe do more. I need the companies that are here today, try and help us as best we can. I know that Millennium's here, and we're working on getting another little tower built down the street here. I know that is part of the project. I know that Joe Cochran here, who's doing One Charlestown, Build Boston, is part of that project. So by putting this in different proposals as well helps. I believe YouthBuild is in the Omni Hotel on the waterfront. So there's opportunities for us to make sure that we build in there. But again, all of you here today, I want to thank you. You know, I don't have to go any further than that. You know what the deal is. This is an opportunity for a young person to be able to create a career. When I was 18 years old, I had the good fortune of having an uncle that ran the laborers union. So all I had to do was call him up, and he sent me down to a job at the World Trade Center. And then when I after that was a high school, my senior year in high school, I went back to high school for another year, went back to college, quit college. I had a chance to call my Uncle Pat. Every time there was a problem, I'd call him, he'd send me on a job. What we want to do is create opportunities for young people that we don't know, that don't have an Uncle Pat, that run the building trades, that can just simply take care of them. You are that future. The people in this room can make that happen. So again, thank you for being here today. I want to thank in particular Ken for his great work. He's been doing this for a long time, so thank you, Ken, and thank you everyone for being here this morning.
Thank you so much, man. We're so lucky to have you in our corner, and we're so lucky to have you as the mayor of Boston. It's really, super. Okay. So, anyways, we have a few minutes. If you have some questions for us, hopefully we have some answers. Give Mike the hard questions, and I'll take the easy ones. Okay? Maybe not. Sure. Let's see. Who's going to win the Cav water? Well, if we last chance, don't go. Okay. So there's food. Coffee. It's time to break. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it.